We're making a ton of free video tutorials on the brand new BERNINA 790 Pro. Hi, I'm Sarah from sewingmastery.com, and we've actually done over 100 videos on the BERNINA 790 Plus and the new ones of the Pro, which are all the new things. You'll find those links below, but what I want to encourage you just once again is to take some time to play with this machine and make a stitch book. Now, we have talked about stitch books for many, many years, and the idea of taking decorative stitches, stitching them out, and getting familiar with your buttons, how everything works, how to move from screen to screen. Just that repetition is so valuable. So just even today, as I've been working through videos on how to use the laser, and also just a few other things of newer stitches that we have found on this machine, I went ahead and took one of our Stitching Cosmos blocks and actually just took some time and stitched out some stitches while I was learning. I'm getting familiar with the smoothness of this newest model from BERNINA, and truly it is. I think every time they make a new model, you know, not always a ton changes on the screens, but things get just a little bit smoother, and then the next one a little smoother, and you think, how could they get it even so precise? Well, that's just the Swiss precision that we've been used to over the years. And yes, over time things get smoother and smoother, just like newer cars and newer other equipment that you might enjoy. So we do have videos for you to enjoy of making and creating a stitch book, but I wanted to just show you a couple that I have close by. We also have these samples were done on black fabric. A lot of people like the look of sewing the stitches on black fabric. Those are about 6 inches wide by 10 inches long, and you can really see the options, especially if you change colors. But even this one here, I just used variegated thread, and you can really get a good look of how those stitches are. Now, one of the first lessons, and it's a free lesson in our Stitching Cosmos online course. That's the quilt you see behind me. That is over 8 hours of instruction, all sewing, no embroidery, and we use the decorative stitches, we use the functions, we use the accessory feet, and we also tell you don't buy any accessory feet before you take that class because you don't know which ones you want, okay? So here is just, I thought I'd bring out my folder, and this has just got sheet protectors. So as you're looking through, these are from previous machines over the years, but I can still open this and be inspired by the stitch and go, oh yeah, I remember that one, or I like that decorative thread that I used here. This is also stitched on like a really dark denim. I've also had some students describe that the dark doesn't show off the stitches for them. They actually prefer to see it on white, just their eyes and how it looks to them is also a little bit softer. So just note that you can just take sheet protectors. I put a piece of cardstock in here, and then as I stitch something maybe from another class, I can just cut a little small sample and stick it in. And as I get further through these, you'll see that I've just added some things like that I've stitched out and gone, gosh, that's kind of cool. I want to place this to store it, and this is a great option. Those bigger stitches, stitching again with different kinds of variegated threads. Things I've done actually on paper, stitching on paper, triple needle, so I've got samples of just fun stuff, but I also have a place to put it. So, and then even some things that I've printed off in from the websites and things. Now, I want to show you one more thing. Now, this was just a front cover from a book and an online course. The online course is Stupendous Stitching by Carol Ann Waugh. I love her ways that she uses decorative stitches. And look at her back. This is fabric she's created. So her book, there's her book, and I'll put a link to the online course in the description below. But one of the first things she has you do is make a stitch book. And she actually has some great pictures of either stitch books she's done or ones that she's seen in classes. I mean, you could put grommets on the side and then like do rings through them. So whatever kind of floats your boat. But as you start to see your stitches stitched out, you realize the potential. And then as she is talking about designing her own fabrics or your own backgrounds, this is actually a really cool class. And she even adds a section of hand stitching in here. And I know as a sewing machine owner and lover that we don't think of always using hand stitches, but it's a great way to go back in and add some fun options. And then the gallery in the back of her book, oh my gosh, is so inspiring. If you're looking for color inspiration or additional things to use your decorative stitches for, this is not only a great online class, but also a great reference book. So again, I'll put links below. I think she's actually got 2 online courses. They're on Craftsy. You can buy them individually, or you can buy a Craftsy subscription, which is like monthly, and you can watch all the classes on Craftsy, which is the way to go. But this is one that I actually always recommend in my classes. So as we go back to the machine, we are realizing that there are so many stitches in here. And yes, as you pick them, they kind of look okay on screen, but when you see them stitched out, and this is where my students always are so surprised when I show them things that their decorative stitches can be used for, or how they just look stitched out and different threads, and they're amazed, and then they want to do it. So here's the deal. If you can stitch out all your decorative stitches, awesome. If you could stitch out just a quarter of the stitches, maybe you make yourself a little pile of fabrics with stabilizer. We do talk about stabilizers in that stitch book video, so make sure you watch there. And then just have it be close by where you can, if you're not in the mood to make a project, that you can actually just go ahead and sew some decorative stitches. It's actually very, very relaxing while learning about your new machine. So I hope you'll check out our free videos on our Bernina Stitching Cosmos online course. To see if that course is right for you, you can watch a ton of lessons before you actually fully enroll. Watch the free stitch book video on how to make a stitch book and other things that I explained in that one. But otherwise, enjoy your Bernina 790 Pro and over 100 plus videos that we've already done on the 790 Plus, which is very similar to this model, plus the new videos that we're doing on all the new things on this particular amazing 790 Pro.